Fuel your summer fun at GNC. Now, top performance products, buy one, get one half off. Fuel your training, fuel your recovery, fuel your wallet. At GNC, it's buy one, get one half off. Store-wide mix and match. Sale ends June 27th. GNC.
Blog Talk Radio.
BzNz is about our business. BzNz is about our business.
It's a fine line. I mean, I don't have a problem with a woman, picking out some clothes for me.
Okay, let me ask you a question. In a relationship, why do they always say that men is controlling, but in actuality,
it's the woman.
Women.
That woman, boy. Woo! Woo!
Lord. But okay, let me ask this question. You just said that, but let me ask this question. Ain't that what the other women that are being hoes are doing, looking for love?
No, true hoes is trying to get paid. People are
they trying to get paid. They might be trying to.
They might have some hoe tendencies, but real hoes trying to get paid. They about that money. They about that.
I thought all women was about money.
No, some women out here are misguided.
BzNz is a talk radio show that is dedicated to gaining details and facts concerning social issues that plague our community and ways to solve them.
BzNz, we about our business, now be about yours. Let's talk.
Well. Hello and welcome to everyone, all of our listeners and friends. I am your host, Tyron Joe. This is the BzNz Internet Talk Radio Show on the Blog Talk Internet Radio Network. BzNz is a play on the word business, where we discuss social issues that has affected our community, raising awareness and going deep into the core, finding the answers and solutions. BzNz would like to welcome any business owner that is for the community, by the community, to please come on board. Email us at connectionsmediagroup@gmail.com or call us at 317-627-7824. Connectionsmediagroup@gmail.com. That's KONNECTIONS mediagroup@gmail.com. We'll be glad to network with you. Also, like us on Facebook at BzNz. For tonight's discussion, we'll be discussing the topic, male and female relationships, part 2. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one. But before we do, let's go around and introduce our panel of co-hosts who has worked diligent to put this forum and show together. Also, listeners, if you would like to call in, dial area code 323-870-4617. That's area code 323-870-4617. Let's see who we got here. We got my boy Kenny Kool-Aid. What's going on, sir? I think he might be on mute. Kenny, are you there? Okay.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
All right, I can hear you. What's going on?
Nothing much hanging in there. How's everybody doing?
That's what's up. Let me see. We got my boy, my mentor. Been knowing him since 2001. Mr. Caffey. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. I couldn't be better. Thank God.
All right. Mr. Caffey is sitting in today, kicking it with us. We're doing all right, sir. Let me see. Last but not least, we got the queen on the line, Miss Salima, all the way from North Carolina. How's everything going, ma'am?
Good evening. I'm doing awesome. How's everyone doing this evening?
We good. I feel like hopping on the mic singing right now. But I won't
carry on, my brother.
No, I won't do that. That was it was the Erykah Badu. Did y'all hear that Erykah Badu? The Erykah Badu make you want to sing sometime. But, I'm cool.
What's the name of that song?
That was Then You Know. Then You Know. That was nice, wasn't it? That was nice. Okay, all right. Everybody doing good tonight. Well, group, we're going to be discussing later on tonight male and female relationships. But before we do, and I wanted to talk about a few things that's going on in the news, which is ridiculous. Well, no, really one thing that's on the news which is ridiculous. That's this gorilla, okay? You know what I'm saying? When I first heard the story, because I heard so many stories, but when I first heard the story, I heard that the little boy accidentally fell into the gorilla's den, and the gorilla grabbed him and took off running and swung him from one end. The little boy tried to take off running. He grabbed him again and swung him from another end, and then, they shot him. Now, if I was an officer there and I would have seen that, I would have shot the gorilla too, with no problem. Because, all these animal rights people talking about, oh my God, they didn't have to kill him. They could have just hit him with a tranquilizer. Okay, let's try this. How about we take you? How about we go ahead and take you and put you in the gorilla den, okay, and you go face to face with a 450-pound gorilla, and we're going to see how you feel. He pick you up and swing you. Let's see if you would be afraid or not. What y'all got on that? Everybody's mic is open. What y'all got on that?
I wouldn't be afraid.
I would be afraid. That little boy was afraid. But if you watch the video, the gorilla was actually protecting him.
Exactly.
If you watch the video, the little boy fell in the water, okay? And he was actually underwater. The gorilla picked him up by his butt and pushed him out the water. And then, in a protective mode, he covered the baby with his body. Because as a gorilla, he knows that the other gorillas may not be so protective of that child.
Preach.
So he never.
That's what it looked like. The second video.
He's floating around because as a gorilla, I'm thinking, what would I do if my baby was in danger? That's how they pick their kids up. That's how they pick their babies up. He wasn't picking him up and slinging him around from side to side. He picked him up because he was trying to get him to a safe place. And,
exactly.
Because the baby. He didn't see, this is a human child, because gorillas don't really eat people. So
no, they don't. They don't eat people.
A little meal.
But that ain't
a little baby meal. That's not what he was thinking. He was thinking, I got to get this child to safety. This child don't look like us. So somebody else might come and attack, so let me protect this baby. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Yeah, it was the second video I saw looked like that. Yeah.
But that's not even the killing part. The killing part is the baby was in there for 10 minutes. 10 minutes, yo. 10 minutes. Come on, man, 10 minutes. And if that gorilla was trying to harm that baby, we all know that baby would have been harmed in less than 45 seconds. Yeah. So the gorilla wasn't trying to harm that baby.
The second video I saw, that's what it looked like to me. Was the gorilla did look like he was, him and the baby was just chilling. But then that first one, I seen him when he grabbed him. I was like, whoa. So I've been getting all kind of stories on that. Mr. Cappy, have you seen this in the news?
Yes, I have, and I sort of agree with you. A gorilla's strength is magnified quite a bit. At 400 pounds, he's probably the equivalent of about 9 men. I have heard. I don't know this to be a fact. And if the gorilla had wanted to do harm to that child, it would have been instant. It wouldn't have been any way that they could have protected it. So the gorilla, in my opinion, now this is just my opinion, I think he or she, I forgot if it was male or female, was definitely trying to be a parental guardian for the child. And I think maybe a little more precaution could have been done. But I think people sometimes panic. You know, had it been my child in there, I probably would have jumped in there right behind it, you know.
Exactly.
But, and never even given it a thought. However, I'm glad the child is safe. Let's put it like that, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad the child is safe.
I'm sorry for the demise of the gorilla, but, you know, I placed the child's life as a priority over the gorillas. I never would have wanted to take the gorilla's life, but I wouldn't want to see the child die either. Okay?
But
that's my opinion.
If it had been a dog, do you think they would have killed it?
You know, you never know what's going on in another person's mind, and I don't know how I would have felt. You know, like I said, if it had been my child, chances are I would have went right in there, right behind him. But first of all, let me say this: I think more attention should have been placed on the child prior to him going in there. You can't just tell an excited child, don't do this. You have to use some restraint because kids will be kids. You know, they're very inquisitive, and when you take them to a place like that, you can't just partially monitor them while you're on the cell phone chit-chatting. You got to be very vigilant and keep your eye on your child. That child is your responsibility. The gorilla was in his domain, and the child invaded his domain. So you can't do that. You can't allow that sort of thing to happen. You know, who's going to be responsible for that child being in there? The gorilla didn't call him in there. Well, somebody needs to use some restraint. Either there should be a better curtain around his enclosure, or somebody needs to do something to keep this from happening again. This isn't the first time this sort of thing has happened.
Right, the zoo was at fault for that.
You know, somebody just climbed in a tiger or a lion cage and got ate up. There should be better barriers for. I mean, it should.
Wildlife is wildlife. Okay, so you can't predict what so-called humans are going to do either. But you certainly can't predict what a wild animal in his confines will do at any particular time. You just can't do it.
Okay, but I'm gonna say this. In actuality, the zoo should have better barriers up because they making hella money off of it. And on top of that, they know a lot of children is going to be here. That's the reason for the zoo in the first place. But yet, on top of that, the zoo ain't nothing but a prison for animals. So how you got to think about it like this? A prison for men. They put if a young woman went into a dorm, a prison cell. What's going to happen to her?
Well,
you're going to get raped. You're going to get raped.
How some men are going either way, I won't be able to answer that one. But at the same
Did you say going either way?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, let's face it, you know, when men are held like that over a period of time, their passions, their desires will, you know, sometimes change. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen to everybody, but there is certainly a possibility of it happening. So, you know, but the chances are she would have been raped.
Exactly. So my point is that the prison cells and all that. Well, a woman cannot even get in a prison cell because of those situations. And the same drastic measures should be taken at the zoo. The same exact.
Yeah, I believe they should. I believe they should.
If you really think about it,
fix that.
Actually, if you think about it, you don't have to put a woman in a cell for rape to occur. There are some men who are being violated in those same prison cells.
And just like and vice versa, in the zoo, it's some animals being violated in the zoo by other animals too. It's the exact same thing.
That's what animals do.
But if you think about it, we're animals too.
Well, we're supposed to act as though we have a little more going than just a regular animal. We're supposed to be able to think rationally. Okay, but we're also supposed to be
the animal
be able to have some type of moral compass. And if we can't, go ahead.
No, I'm listening to you. I would just say okay.
If we can't govern ourselves, that is, I must maintain myself. I must do what is necessary to not violate anyone else. Then I've got a problem.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I should be able to control myself, in other words, and not do anything to hurt my neighbor or
go ahead, Kenny.
Around me. Yes,
so,
Kenny, I'm sorry.
And you know, I was listening. I was just going okay, and you know what I'm saying, just listening to what you were saying, sir. But at the same time, how do we know that animals don't have the same moral compass as we do? We don't know that.
I never said they did because I've seen it displayed in wild elephants. They're very protective. As a matter of fact, in most animals, there is that thing called instinct, and they are very protective of their young. I would never want to walk in on a female bear and she's got her cubs with her unannounced.
Most definitely.
Okay,
Most
without
definitely.
getting her permission. That would, I think, could be deadly.
I done walked in. I done walked up. I done walked up on some geese. Or Mother Goose. Yeah, you don't want to mess with Mother Goose when she crossing the street. When she crossing the street with them with her little kids. Oh, yeah.
So
she don't play.
Actuality, what is the difference? What is the difference between man and human? In actuality, what is it? The only difference is that we go to work and we can talk.
Well,
communicate amongst each other.
One main difference, if we go from the scripture, is man should be able to communicate with the good Creator. You know, and I think that's. But I'm not saying that the Creator can't communicate with animals. I'm simply saying that we, being so-called human, should be able to communicate with him on an intelligent basis, and not by just
Okay, now let me say this. Okay, y'all talking about they should have done better things to keep it closed up where the little boy can fall in there. But check this out. They now are doing a lawsuit, or they doing an investigation to see if the mother should be held liable to be brought up on charges. They doing an investigation, and I was reading an article where it was saying that they went in there, they looked up, some of the files of the mother and her husband, who both are married, and they both have had 4 kids together, but they saw that the husband, he had all these, he didn't have him a little record or whatever. They thought they went on ahead and brought that up, but again they said, ever since then he's been doing good. I'm like, well, why even bring that up in the first place? Why even bring that up? Why even talk about prosecuting this lady? Why even talk about prosecuting this lady or whatever when the zoo, like y'all just said, is at fault? Go ahead, Kenny.
I didn't say. Hold on. I didn't say the zoo was at fault. I said that fault could be laid a few places. First of all, anybody that's a part of my family, by me being the head of my house, I am responsible for that individual right off the bat. If we're walking down the street, I don't allow my children to hold my hand when we're crossing the street. I hold their hand because it's my responsibility to rely and depend on them to hold my hand. If they see a clown or popcorn or candy machine on the opposite side of the street, they're subject to run across. I can't have that. So what do? I hold on to them and cross the street. I don't want them holding on to me.
That's absolutely right. You're absolutely right, sir. You're absolutely right. But what about if they want to charge her? If they want to charge her, they should charge the parents. They should charge the parents that take their children to the beach and they go out there and go surfing and get bit by a shark.
Well, that can happen, but you can't tell the shark not to be there because the shark is in the domain that the good Lord put him in.
Right, it's his habitat.
So,
right.
Knowing that there are dangers out there, you as a parent, in my opinion, should be responsible for your child. Be totally aware of what may happen. I'm not saying be paranoid, but at least be cognizant of the fact that there could be some danger out there, and be very protective. That's my only suggestion.
Hey, let me ask you this. I heard they said that the little boy kept asking her if he can go in there, and she kept telling him no, don't go. And then I think they said finally she's like, I don't care what you do. Is that right?
I don't know anything about that.
The little boy, the story I heard was the little boy asked his mother, could he go, because he wanted to go swimming. He wanted to get in the water. And she told him no. And she took her eyes off of him for a moment, and he went and dove in, fell in, climbed over in the thing. First of all, it shouldn't have been set up where he can climb in there in the first place.
That's why I say the zoo. The zoo should be at fault. That's why I say that.
And I agree. The zoo should be at fault, and she should be at fault because it's her fault that he did it, but also it's the zoo's fault because they know who they are. They know what they are attracting to them to come and see the animals. They know who they're attracting. The zoo is for children. It's for parents to bring their children in to see exotic animals that they would never see if they don't travel outside the United States. Go ahead,
Selena.
That most zoos are negligent. Most of them. Okay?
Yes.
The Bronx Zoo, I used to work in the Bronx, okay? The Bronx is now a natural wildlife preservation. Not the zoo, the Bronx itself. Because there are so many wild animals that have escaped, and they can't catch them. Eagles, hawks, and other large birds live in and around where I used to work, okay? Where, I mean, I saw a eagle up in a tree that was maybe 15 feet high, and I could see his eyes. That's how big he was, okay? So most of them are negligent. The majority of them are negligent. There was another case where they showed a case from 1986 where another little boy fell in the gorilla enclosure, and again, a male gorilla took his children to a safe distance, came back, and basically stood guard because he knew that other gorillas might find this baby as a threat. This little boy had a cracked skull. When the video first started, he wasn't moving.
He was unconscious. I remember it. He was
unconscious. It was a female gorilla.
I remember that.
He started crying, and, the mother was trying to tell him to be quiet, but a younger male gorilla came over to investigate what is this weird sound, in my habitat, and he was kind of excitable, but he never went to the baby to attack him. He really just was curious. Let me see what's going on. But the adult male gorilla protected the baby. He didn't touch the baby as did, this gorilla that died this week. But, he did protect it, put his body between him and the rest of the gorilla. So that's just a natural thing with them, where they're not violent animals as they make them out to be. They're not, overly aggressive.
Could I just interject a quick thought? Please, ma'am. I'm sorry for cutting you off. You know what's the most violent animal on the planet is?
The human.
Hello?
A human.
You hit it. And okay, that's us. That's me and you. Hatred, fear against one another. People we don't even know. People we've never met. People 1,000 to 6,000 miles away. We go and we hunt them and kill them, blow their heads off, and then wonder why they hate us. I'm sorry. I just had to throw that in.
Yeah, I know. We get ready to go. We get ready to go there in a minute. We're going to get there in a minute.
That's what I just said.
Keep it going.
Go ahead, Selena.
To me, as it was stated earlier, if that had been a dog attacking a baby, because dogs attack kids, they don't,
every day.
They don't protect them. Some of them do, but then you have a lot of dogs that attack people, children,
especially when they're trained.
Dogs, exactly.
Right.
Dogs have a tendency to attack children because they know that they're more vulnerable. If there's an adult there and there's a child there, the dog will go for the child, and that's their natural instinct. But people will protect dogs to no end. If that had been a dog, it would be a national crisis that they shot and killed a dog.
A dog, exactly, exactly.
Downplaying the fact that baby was in danger, but he wasn't in danger of that gorilla. He was never in danger of that gorilla, ever.
Just like 10 years ago with the. No, I'm sorry.
The blame is on the zoo. The mother may have been negligent, but the entire and complete. The issue is if you have an enclosure where you have an animal that you have to enclose, they should be encased. They should be completely encased where no one can get to them. No one should be able to climb over. No one should be able to climb under. There should be no way a 4-year-old child can gain access to that enclosure.
Right.
So the
should be able to stick his arm in there and nothing.
The zoo. And it's not the first time that an animal has escaped or someone has gotten into the enclosures at that zoo. So that's where the blame lies. The reason that they're putting light on the father's criminal record, which absolutely has relevance in this at all. The mother's supposed past neglect charges have no bearing on this at all. Nothing. None of those things. They're just trying to make sure that the zoo is not sued. And
they want to cover their butt.
If I was able to make contact with that loving black family, I would tell them that you need to find a lawyer. You need to find a lawyer ASAP, and you need to sue the pants off of them.
Well, they had a lawyer. I seen on the news they had a lawyer, and they said that they're not going to sue
because they scared them. That's why.
Yeah.
They scared them.
Let me ask you this question: Do y'all think if it had been an albino gorilla, do you think they would have shot it?
Oh my God! Help us.
Right. I don't even know what they got to do with it.
I hear the implication, but I won't respond.
I'm just saying, respond. That's why I asked. That's why I asked.
They probably would have used a little more precaution. They probably would have called a general meeting to discuss the matter and then made a decision.
Exactly.
But since his nose looks somewhat similar to mine and is the same color, there was no question. There was no doubt. There was no hesitation.
Right. There was none. I mean,
get rid of him.
The Facebook post they've been posting this week has been ridiculous. I mean, they done post obituaries of this gorilla. They done posted pictures of the gorilla in a casket, talking about the second church of Chipmunk or something gonna do the eulogy. Then they talking about Alvin and the Chipmunks. He gonna sing at it, and DuckTales gonna do a special dance. Like, come on, man, come on with this gorilla for real. But another thing I wanted to bring up was this past Monday. I think it came on. I think it came on the rest of the week, but I just know I seen it Monday night. They did a showing of the new age movie has been redone of Roots. Now I think parts of it. I think parts of it, but thing is, you know, the part that I saw or whatever. I mean, it was okay. It showed exactly, what they've been showing for a while anyway with, slag movies. But what it gave me was is that I go on Facebook again and I see what the people is saying about it. Talking about, please God, no more slave movies. Oh God, why we gotta watch that? Now the thing is, you really don't have to watch it, because if you got your own TV, you got a remote. That means that you got a finger and you can press any other channel on that TV except that one. So, but the main point is that if you are black, you really need to watch these slave movies to, just to stay, a part of your history. That's why they showing it, because it's a part of your history. They're not trying to show it. I know you get sad when you watch it. That's cool. I know you sad, you cry, you get angry, you want to fight, you want to go out and kill you a couple of them. I know. But at the end of the day, it is a part of your history that will never, ever go away. All right, I'm done. Go ahead. Let me hear it.
Okay. I'm going to go first, and I'm going to try and make this as brief as possible, because I know how to about it. It's part of our history, but that's not all of our history. Our history didn't start on slave ships. So for them to continue to make movies and TV shows about only one part of our history, from the slave ship to we were here, okay, and then when they do depict our history in Africa, it's portrayed by white people. White actors play kings and pharaohs in Africa. So don't tell me that you can make black people, make a whole show full of black people who are slaves, but you can't accurately, historically record what really happened in Africa. So they never talk about it as heinous and horrible as it is, us watching these slave movies and these slave TV shows, okay? They don't show how we got here. They don't show that our ancestors are bones down in the bottom of the ocean from coming over here and refusing to be a slave. They don't show that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So even though that looks bad, it's not as bad as it is not. It could be worse, but they are never going to show. That's first. Secondly, when a Holocaust movie is created, produced, and put out, a Jewish person does it. And they depict German evil. There are never happy German-Jewish relationships. Maybe here and there, a Jewish woman passed as a German woman and she married a German man somewhere there. But it's never where the Jewish people are loving the Germans on a large scale. But you get these black movies, Samuel L. Jackson wanted to die for Leonardo DiCaprio, his slave master.
Oh, man, Django. Oh, man, I hated that. Oh, I hated the part. Woo, Lord.
Who so far that man's back that it changed his psyche to love that man.
Right.
Okay, you talk about syndrome. So unless
I hated that one.
In the proper way, I reject them. I don't want to see your rendition of my history, because I can get that for myself. I completely reject it. Unless you're going to tell the truth 100%. Okay? So we have to stop accepting the scraps that we are given. Stop watching them. That doesn't mean that they're going to stop making them. You understand what I'm saying? But teach your kids yourself what their history is. Teach them that the pharaohs and the kings and queens of Egypt are black people, not some pale white person. Okay? Because they would not have survived in that heat. That's first of all. Historically, they could not have survived in the heat of the desert in Egypt. And that's just a fact. Absolute. And you can't deny that. They can barely survive the heat that we have here, with all their sunburn and skin cancer and all that other stuff. So if you're going to depict some history, depict it properly. I reject all of that. I reject all of it. I'm not happy about another Roots rendition. I'm not watching it. I have not watched it, and I refuse to watch it. It's been on.
So Salima, you saying that they need to go in and do it the right way if they're gonna show some Roots. That's what you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay.
And
but
Samuel L. Jackson, Danny Glover has been trying to make a movie such as that, and with all his money, all his prestigious friends, all their money, they're still not allowing them to make it. So to say that we won't make our own movies, we won't use our own resources to do it is a lie. Because in order for him, he can record the film, but he'll have to bring it to everybody's house one by one in order for the masses to see it, because they are stopping him at every pass in order for him to get that movie out. So what we need to do is reject it completely. Don't watch them. Don't talk about them. Act like they don't exist, because they are against us. My last point is, why are they now wanting to show this part of American history? Okay? This is what I've come up with. In the 90s, In Living Color had men on film. Everybody remembers them. Two men dressed femininely, acting as gay men, commenting on different films. Every channel you turn on, whatever you put on, there is a homosexual male or female on that TV show. You know why? Because they've made it, they eased us into it softly, and then they dropped the ball on us, and we have to accept it. To the point now in North Carolina, a man dressed as a woman can come into the female bathroom, because he says that he's transgender. He can use the same bathroom as I can. So that's how far this gay agenda has come. So why now are they showing these images on TV? We better watch our back, because they easing us into it. We're going to be in chains again. That's what I got to say about it.
Yeah,
all right,
I agree. But
go ahead, Kenny.
I also feel like, and this Roots movie, this Roots show, it's a TV show, supposed to be. This Roots TV show, it was created by, that wasn't created, but it was reshot and redid by Mario Van Peebles, which is a black man. And secondly, I think it is very much needed, because there is nothing, it's damn near nothing around for these young kids today to learn their history, because it's not getting taught in school. Then you got to think about this. Half of these young kids' parents are kids themselves still, and they know nothing of it. So I think it's very much needed, and people should watch it so they can get some type of understanding and go research for themselves. It's nothing but an eye-opener for them to see, to go research for themselves. A couple of years ago, I was sitting in my front room with my cousin and his girlfriend. Mind you, at the time, they was like 22, 23 years old. And we was talking about slavery and all that. Do you know this young woman thought that it was just in movies, thought that it was just a movie thing? She didn't even know it actually happened. She didn't even know it actually really took place. So I think it is very much needed, because they are trying to whitewash it out where it's no history, where they won't know nothing of their background and who they are. So it's very much needed. You know what I'm saying? And people say they need to teach their children. The parents don't even know. So the parents don't know, how the children gonna know. And yeah, they try, and it's gay stuff on every channel and everywhere. That's because they trying to get rid of us. They trying to get rid of us. They trying to. Exactly. So for somebody to say that they shouldn't watch it and they shouldn't do it, I think that's foul. Because we need that. We need that resurgence. We need that to put into their mind, to open their eyes. We need it all. Yeah, it's for to make them mad. It's for them to get riled up. It's for them to go research it. It's for them to stand strong. It's for them to get unified. That's what it's for. And for everybody to keep downing and everything, are you black or are you loving the white person?
Ooh. Go on and teach.
Straight up. That's real life. And everybody keep downing it. Are you black or are you white? Tell me. Just tell me. What is it? Because we need that. It's nowhere to be found. The only thing these kids know is mess with some comments, snort a line and smoke a blunt, kill a person and grab a gun. That's all they know. They know nothing.
Movies like what kind of movies they watching those?
They watching movies like Belly and Juice and every movie from the Hollywood. You know how I just watched what's his name? Roland Martin. Roland Tim Martin. I'm gonna put it in our inbox so y'all can see it. He said it himself because Snoop Dogg said that they should boycott the Roots. And Roland Martin came and said some valid. He said the exact thing that I'm saying, but he said it a little bit better that they should watch it. They should look at it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like 20 Holocaust movies. Like 20 of them. Are the Jews anything about that? Nope. The only people that downplay their people is black folks. The only people that downplay their people is black folks. The only people that don't support their people is black folks. And that's the reason why we don't do it. Everybody's too scared and too all that. Come on, man.
Come on and teach.
That's baloney.
Hey, let me get my boy, Mr. Caffey, in there. I know he wants some of it. Come on, Mr. Caffey. Tell us what you're thinking, sir.
Well, please don't put me on a pedestal. Listen, my people's history has been distorted from day one. There is an agenda to keep us from knowing our true identity. Because if we knew our true identity and where we came from, the inventions and the contributions that we have made, not only in this country, but in other countries as well, the inventions, the blood plasma, the heart transfusions, the traffic lights, et cetera, and I could go, there's a litany of things that black people have done with the peanut and on and on and on. All of us are not a Birmingham Brown or a Willie Best. Look those two guys up, okay? And so to give you pride in what you have accomplished and what you've done, they don't want you to have that, because when you have pride, you become arrogant. And when you become arrogant, you become that individual that would not say his name was something other than what it was. You become a Kunta Kinte. Okay, but the true history of how they brought us over and how they misused us to be portrayed or shown by Mr. Alex Haley, I think he's done a tremendous job, but not thorough enough, because the brutality could not be shown in its entirety. There were things done, and we were submitted and treated so harshly and so badly. If you showed that on national television, I think it would provoke not just anger, it might provoke something else that I'm afraid to think about. Black people, I don't want them to get angry. I want them to get smart. Know who you are. Know that we can save ourselves if we stick together. Where there is unity, there is strength. Where there's division, you can be conquered. They teach us to hate ourselves. They tell you, and every billboard that you see as you drive down the street has a scantily clad, not a black woman, but some woman selling a tractor, selling a vacation or whatever, and she's got on a bikini. But when you see that over and over again, we are what we eat. We are what our eyes observe. We are what we hear. That's why it behooves us as black people to monitor what goes into our system, okay? Watch what you eat. Watch what you ingest through your eyes. Watch what you hear, because you can hear stuff that's poisonous. You can look at things that are to the nth degree degrading, et cetera, and make you feel as though you have never made a contribution. You have never done anything wrong. Most of the movies that you see us in, we are not portrayed as the Bill Cosby used to be in that one episode or episodes of the pictures. What was his name? I can't. Dr. Huxtable or whatever. We don't see much of that on TV. No, we're comedians, we're clowns, we're this, we're that. But to see us carrying prestige jobs and to have dignified families, et cetera, that's not portrayed because they don't want you to think of yourself like that. You become an arrogant, excuse the expression, you know what I mean. And black people don't have to be arrogant, but we must be, and I don't mean proud in the sense that the good Lord says he hates a proud look. I mean proud knowing that we have accomplished something. Don't let people put you down. Don't let people make you think that all the young black men walking the streets with their drawers showing are drug addicts. They're not. You have people on Skid Row who are all colors, and some of them are doctors and lawyers. Did you know that? Okay? So we can't do that. Let's just get smart. Let's not get angry. Let's get smart and start dealing with our situation. Let's start showing more compassion, more love for one another, and let's do something else. And this is what I really wished I could get a lot of us to do. Don't get a credit card before you get a library card. Can I make
Come on.
One more time. Don't get, and I wished I could swear without causing a problem. Don't get a SOE credit card when what you need is a library card.
Yes, come on with it. You teaching.
And this will help you. I'm serious. You know, I used to tell my daughters, if a joker comes to visit you, he's got to come through me. And I want to examine it. I want to know, where is he going to school? What is he going to do if you and he have a baby? What's going to happen? Does he have a job? Who's his family? What's his background? And et cetera, et cetera. But one thing I always told them, before you give him your phone number, make sure he's got a library card in his pocket. Because if he ain't learning nothing, if he's not about, because you see, we've got to be constantly learning. If you don't know computers and the things that are happening today, you're not standing still. You're sliding backwards. And these people know that. That's why they don't want you to become educated. They want you to watch movies. They want you to have fun. They want you to listen to loud music, et cetera, and bust your eardrums. But when you listen to their programs, you hear discussions of politics. You hear what's the latest as far as dieting. You hear the latest as what is healthy foods. Where do you get that on our programs? You don't.
Ooh, come on. You don't.
Okay, you don't. All you hear is who's rapping this and who's rapping that and degrading women. I don't want to hear that. But like I told you earlier, I did not watch Roots, and I cannot watch Roots because, let me say this, and I'm going to get off. There was a young man by the name of Emmett Till. He was murdered, okay? And the bastards that killed him got off scot-free. I was about Emmett Till's age at the time that it happened in Chicago here when his mother brought his body back. I stood at that casket and looked at that body, and that image is still impregnated. It's like it's stamped on my brain, and I can't get.
Yeah, maybe it's like he done fell off. He probably called back in. That's my boy, Mr. Cappy. Okay, all right. Any rebuttals to what Mr. Cappy's saying? He probably come back in. They said his call was dropped.
I feel he's on it. He's He's telling the truth, and they died and everything. See, the thing is, they say everything and all the died and like he was saying, but where do they get it from? See, that's the thing that people don't know. Where do they get it from? They get it from us. Everything they do, they get it from us. But how would they know that if they don't research, if they don't have nothing to spark their mind to even indulge in it? How do they spark the people's mind to go buy Jordans, to go buy fast food or listen to loud music? They show it to them. They put it in front of their face. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is.
Salim, you have any rebuttal?
I just think that Kenny just proved my point and he didn't know it. I love when you do that, Kenny. Yes,
what do you do? Okay, let's go. Let's dig into it. What did he do?
He said that they put negative music out, they put negative things on TV in order to capture our minds. And that goes right into what I said about the reason that they are constantly bombarding us with slave movies. The same thing. Because it's softening us to whatever they have planned. It's
Man, not
thing.
for me.
Why do
Because when I see, not me, I'm going to tell you like this. The first time you ever seen the movie Rosewood?
Of course I have.
Yeah,
Okay,
I've seen Rosewood.
Okay, they showed the first time I seen Rosewood, I was in the 7th grade, right? And they showed, and the teacher she showed us this movie in class in school. Do you know what all us black kids did when we saw that movie? You see what we did? We went through that school and tore it up. So. What you said, I mean, they not taking our minds, making us believe something else. To me, it's putting something, an image in your brain like, damn, our people suffered this much. Damn, we went through this much. Because they don't know. If they don't know, they don't understand. If these dudes out here really understood what we went through, what our people went through, and what it took to get us to the point where we was now, where we are at now, a whole lot of them will be doing the things that they are doing. They wouldn't be doing what they are doing.
Kenny, the reason that your seventh grade mind went off when you saw Rosewood is because you had not seen anything like that before in your life. Now that your mind, one moment, now that your mind is desensitized to it, you have a completely different outlook on it. Because since the 7th grade till today, your mind has accepted that is what we are. That is our norm. That's why you're okay with it. That's exactly what psychologically.
That's where you wrong. That's where you wrong. I'm not accepted to it. That's the problem. See, people think that we are accepted to it. We're not accepted to it. At the time, I was just dealing with life issues. You know what I'm saying? Being hard-headed at the time. But it did. I'm not accepted to that lifestyle. No. I'm rebuking it. Get away from me. What do you mean? That's crazy for you to say that. I mean,
did you watch?
Did I what?
Did you watch Roots?
Yeah, no, not this one right here. No, I ain't watched it yet. No, I haven't. I haven't seen it yet. I was going to watch it, but I was watching the other.
At it.
I was watching the other TV show called The Underground.
I said it's inconvenient for me to watch because of the thing that's on the inside of me that really upsets me. I don't like to see my people portrayed in that. I'm not saying it's not healthy for other people to watch it. I'm saying I can't take that kind of stuff too much, okay? I don't want to sound like a bigot, but I know that if I look at too much Roots, some things are going to happen to me on the inside, and I don't want that. So I deliberately don't watch it. Okay, but I agree, like the young lady said, they show the Holocaust over and over again. I watch a lot of documentaries, and they do show that. As a matter of fact, I knew a young man whose family went through that, and I can empathize, and to some degree with him because of what he's gone through. Because my people have suffered too, but I don't want to just watch it over and over again. Okay, that's all. But I have nothing against other people who want to watch. I don't object to that. But
my whole point is just knowing your history. That's what my whole point was.
Right. That's the main thing. Right. Know who you are. Don't let people tell you who you are. Get in the library, read books, and find out who you really are. And don't take the word of just one writer. Check. We have a myriad of writers who know our history and will give it to us straight. Okay.
But how are they going to go?
That's what I'm talking about.
But how are they going to go in? How are they going to get a library card to go research if they know nothing to research?
Well, if you go to the average library now, or if you can go on the south sides of Chicago, you can find a lot of books. You can look up those authors, and those authors will tell you about other authors. You can go down to the museum there on, 60-something in Cottage Grove. You can find out a lot lot about just by visiting different places. If you're in Washington, D.C., you can go to the Black Museum there. Pardon me?
But we out in Indianapolis. But how, except for Selima, she's in North Kakalaki.
North Carolina, yeah.
Well, here's the thing. You can always get on the computer and do some research, can't you?
But, yes, it's true, but how do you know? But my point is, what I'm saying is, how do you know what to go research if you know nothing of it? Because most black people,
I'm saying.
Only thing most black people, only thing they know about is Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, and Malcolm X. That's it.
Yes, that's
how they talk.
To some degree.
Kenny,
yes,
to some degree.
A
lot of times it start off. Okay, I was gonna say this. A lot of times it start off with a question, like Minister Farrakhan. He taught a famous message back in the '80s. I think it said his message was, "Who is God?" And I know people that have listened to that message. It was like I didn't have no idea who God was, what it was about, none of that. And they said they went into the library. They said by the time I got through looking up stuff, I was all over in Africa. I was back in Europe. Then I went back to Africa. So it was just like a whole journey. You start off with a question like, "Who am I? Who am I?"
But you just validated what I said. You just validated what I said.
Well, I had no type of argument with you anyway. We're not arguing here. So I had no type of argument with you anyway.
No. What I'm saying, and what you said was, you watched Mr. Farrakhan said something who was God, and you said somebody seen it, and they was like they want to know who God was, and they was all up in Africa again. How would he have known? How would he have known to go search and find out if Mr. Farrakhan had never said nothing?
Well, anybody. So you just somebody gonna put an appetite.
I mean, I'm just saying though, if don't nobody speak of it, how can someone search? Because the only thing they see is.
Okay. Let's answer it like this. That's why you and I have a responsibility and an obligation to communicate to one another, not just high five and a lot of silly stuff that amounts to absolutely nothing, but we need to communicate with one another in a positive manner. We need to teach one another. We need to show each other our love and care for one another, and we should also try to encourage one another as to what to do. So if you find a brother that is uneducated, has no learning, then it is your responsibility to take it upon yourself to try and help him, not criticize him. We don't need criticism. We can get that anywhere. He or she may get that from their own family. But I take it upon myself to try and encourage people to do the right thing. I can't force them. I can't make them. But I will suggest things to them and hope and pray that they will adhere to it. That's me.
Okay, but again, there's a lot of people. It's a lot of people out here that have no one to go that talks to them like that or know anything about it. That's the whole point.
Right. I agree. So we have to start somewhere. Young man,
you have to start somewhere.
Okay, the pyramid was laid one block at a time, I believe. I'm old enough to say I've been there, and I helped, but you got me by a couple of years. But this is how we do it, little by little, piece by piece, and we can get the job done, because the media now is such that if you and the technology is such that you can accomplish the goal. You can communicate. You're doing it now, as a matter of fact. You may be touching someone you've never seen or heard before. You may be doing it right now. They're taking and listening to what you're saying, and they're sucking it in, and probably will do something just because of your conversation and the contributions that you and the young lady and T have given tonight. They'll probably be doing something great. You'd be surprised. We're not as...
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. I was gonna say, you know what? On that note, we're gonna take a quick about a 2-minute commercial break, and we'll be right back with our discussion topic for the night: male and female relationship part 2. Let's stay tuned, everyone.
Are you looking for answers? Are you looking for solutions?
Do some research, honey.
Indians back then, they were almost as dark as I. There were no light Indians. There are no way in the 18, 17, 1500s that there were light-skinned Indians. They were not. So because somebody slapped a label on a group of people to make it seem like, because how is it now in 2013, all of a sudden they find these light-skinned Indians, and they're the only light-skinned Indians or Indians, period, that had slaves. We got to critically think of what they feeding us.
Okay, what about there with black Indians too? You didn't hear about them. We sure didn't hear about them for a long time.
From what I understand, Moore guided Christopher Columbus here, and he thought he was in the East. Well, we know America's in the West, but
he got lost.
He thought he was it was a Moore that guided Christopher Columbus here. And in regards to the Indians, the I guess you could say the darker Indians of India that I know was referred to as the Dravidians. During a lot of the British colonization of India, because you have some Indians, I see them back home that they're Indian, but they have British accents. You don't see very many of them here, but they exist. I mean, you see them at home. I see them back on the East Coast.
There's a scripture that says, the enemy is like a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. And so the enemy knows exactly what it is our young people want. They know exactly what they want. And they also know exactly what they need. So what they're going to do is they're going to come to them and entice them with everything that they want, but neglect everything that they need. And so in return, you're going to have people like me and you and other people out there that's mentoring you trying to fight to give them what they need.
We are ready and waiting for you. Come join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the BzNz Internet Talk Radio Show on the Blog Talk Internet Radio Network.
BzNz, we about our business, now be about yours. Let's talk.
All right. Welcome back to the BzNz Internet Talk Radio Show on the Blog Talk Internet Radio Network. If you're just tuning in with us, let me just give you a little what's going on. BzNz is a play on the word business, where we discuss social issues that is affecting our community, raising awareness, and going deep into the core, finding the answers and solutions. Well, what we just got through talking about, we started off with the whole gorilla situation that's been going on, and a lot of people say that the zoo and the parent, those two, should be the ones at fault. I agree. Those two really should be the ones at fault. The gorilla, no, he shouldn't have lost his life. He shouldn't have. He should not have. So, but this is the type of world that we live in. Animals, what they say, animal lives matter. So now, since they know that they messed up by killing the gorilla, they now want to press charges, want to see if they can press charges and investigate the mother and the father. Well, my book is too late for that. Next, we talked about Roots, the movie. Now, this is all in the archives. The archives will be up tomorrow morning sometime, probably a couple hours after this show is done. Archives will be up. and we talked about Roots. Roots, they revamped the show, and the show came on Monday night, Memorial Day night, and they it was okay. It was just a recap of a whole bunch of other slave movies, but my whole point or understanding or non-understanding of it was, why was there people on Facebook saying, don't go see that movie, don't see those movies, when at the end of the day you should go and, well, you should see it. You know, if you gotta, you know, see it with the understanding of there is a possible chance that they are lying in this film, but at the end of the day, whether they're lying or not in the film, it still is a part of history. You think about it and get back with me. And tonight, our main keynote topic is male and female relationships part 2. We're going to go through some scripture like we did last week to talk about this whole male and female relationships, because remember, the name of this show is BzNz, where we be about our business, and we want you to be about yours, so we can all talk together and have social dialogue together. So, okay, what more in our community right now is big time, is the whole male and female dynamic. So, you know, male and female dynamics is at an all-time low, okay? But thing is, that still was a part of the plan that was laid out for us 300-400 years ago, when a certain man by Mr. Willie Lynch came to the James Banks River, the river of Jamestown River or whatever, and he said, I have outlined the number of differences among the slaves, and I take these differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. And he said you must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female, along with a whole bunch of other things he said that you must use to keep us at odds. But the thing is, we don't see that. And that's why we are talking about male and female relationships today. So at the end of this discussion, we can begin to look with our natural eye and see that the little petty arguments and disagreements that we're having among each other, that we're having with each other, does not make sense. Let's go into some scripture. Genesis 2, verses 22 through 24. Then the rib which the Lord God had taken from man, he made into a woman, and he brought her to man. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. See? One flesh. So this is to the men. You got to stop being childish. You got to quit being kiddie-like. Come on. Once you become a man, you are a man. No longer should you even turn back to doing childish things. No longer should you even turn back to want to, go back to how you used to be, but you should want to get yourself to an elevated place to where your queen will never ever have to worry, will the rent get paid? Will all the lights gonna stay on? That should never ever be a worry. Let's move on. Let's move on to some more scripture, because I got a panel of co-hosts here. If you just tuned in, I got a panel of co-hosts here. They are ready. They are fired up, ready to go, and I can't wait. I can't wait to open up their microphones so you can hear from them, because I'm telling you, this show right here has been kicking. Let's get on to some Proverbs. Let your fountains be blessed and rejoice with the wife of your youth. That's Proverbs 5, verse 18 through 19. If you wonder what version of the Bible I'm reading out of, this is the King James Version. Let your fountain be blessed and rejoice with the wife of your youth. So what is that saying? It's not a bad idea to get married young. You know, I hear so many times from men, oh, man, you know, I got to get it out of my system. What is there that you need to get out of your system? You know, man, I got to sleep with every woman I can. So when I get ready to settle down, hey, I won't have no second thought saying, oh, when I see a fine woman come pet. I mean, but look at what the scripture says. It said, let your fountain be blessed. Come on. What you mean? You want to sleep with every woman that you possibly can, so when you get old, you know, then you get your wife, and now you can't have fun with your wife, you know what I'm saying, because you done did all these other things you done did in your youthful days, and look at you now. Let's keep it moving. Proverbs 19, verse 14. Houses and riches are an inheritance from fathers, but a prudent wife is from the Lord. Okay? Proverbs 12:4. An excellent wife is the crown of her husband, but she who causes shame is like rottenness in his bones. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's getting on the women now. Ladies. Come on, ladies. Come on. You know what this is talking about. I'm going to read it one more time. You're going to probably catch it. An excellent wife is the crown of her husband, but she who causes shame is like rottenness in his bones. Ladies, come on. Ladies, you got to stop embarrassing the men that you're with. Let me move on to the next one. Proverbs 18:22. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. Oh, let's take that back to what we just read again. It said, come on, let your fountain be blessed and rejoice with the wife of your youth. There's nothing wrong with being married, being young and being married. There's nothing wrong. So if you out there right now, you listen to this broadcast and you've been with a woman for a while, you're 22, 23, and you thinking about marrying her, but you're afraid, don't even second guess it. Go ahead and do it. There's nothing wrong with that. Let's go to Proverbs 20:6-7. Most men will proclaim each his own goodness, but who can find a faithful man? Ooh, there we go again with that word. Ooh, who can find a faithful man? The righteous man walks in his integrity. His children are blessed after him. Okay, so everything that you're doing can be passed on to your children, whether you teach them or not. So watch what you're doing. Watch your steps. All right. Ephesians. Oh, wrong scripture. Proverbs 31:10. Who can find a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies. Come on now. Who can find a virtuous wife? Because her worth is far above rubies. It is not about money. It's not about, the booty. It's not about her breast. It's not about her material being, but it is about spiritual being that lies within her. Come on now. What is it about her that's going to make you happy when everything else fades away? Ooh, how do you think people are still married 50 years, 60 years, 75 years? How do you think they still married all those years, but, and you know what I'm saying, and body parts, some have been, has withered away, and it's not like it was. But they still in love just like they was when they first met that first day. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to go ahead and let me wrap this up. Let me read a little bit out of 1 Corinthians real quick. Now, 1 Corinthians 7, I'll start at verse 1. Now, concerning the things of which you wrote to me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, because of sexual immorality, let each man have his own wife, and let each woman have her own husband. Stop right there. Yeah. Let each one have their own, meaning that you don't need somebody else. You need your own. Okay? Not looking after somebody else's wife, not looking after somebody else's husband. But look at the one that God has blessed you with. Look at the one that, that's paying your bills. Look at the one that's, when you come home from a hard day's work, she opened up that door and, she got you a plate of grandma's cookies and a cup of some sweet tea and lemonade. Now, that's too much sugar now, but, she got that there for you at the door. That's the one that you should be looking at. Nevertheless, because of sexual immorality. Let's go to verse 3. Let the husband render to his wife the affection due her, and likewise also the wife to her husband. Come on. Y'all want to be affectionate to everybody else's wife and husband, but you can't be affectionate to your own. That's a problem. That is a problem. You can't do that. You cannot, you can't. You know what I'm saying? I know what this world is about. This world is full of selfishness and lust. Absolutely. But if you want to be something that is different from this world, you can't do those things. The wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does. And likewise, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. What that's talking about? I'm putting him on punishment because, he made me mad the other day. So, girlfriend, high five, girlfriend. He ain't getting on tonight. I'm putting him on punishment. You can't do that. Come on, look what God is saying. The wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does. And likewise, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. Now, with that being said, you're not no Gestapo now. Hold on now. You're not no Gestapo. You're not going to demand that your wife give you sex, and you should not demand that your husband give you sex, because now, where is the love? This love is leaving away from the situation because you are demanding. Let's keep on. Do not deprive one another except with consent for a time. Oh, you just got through saying it. That ye may just give yourselves to fasting and prayer and come together again so that Satan does not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. But I say this as a concession, not as a commandment. For I wish that all men were even as I myself, for each one has his own gift from God, one in this manner and another in that. Let me move over here to Hebrews, because I know my panel of co-hosts, they just ready just to dive in. And you know what? I won't be in y'all way too long. I'm not gonna be in y'all way too long. I'm gonna let y'all dive in. Let me hit you with another scripture real quick. Get Colossians 3:18 through 19. It says, wives, submit to your own husbands as is fitting in the Lord. Stop right there. Submit to your own husband. That's what that word submit. So many people, they got a problem with the word submit. But at the end of the day, you do it without even knowing it. You submit to that man. You submit to that man that you go to work with for 8 hours, that you work for 8 hours. Yeah, you submit to him. But the one that you come home to, you mean and grouchy. Come on, we gotta stop this foolishness. How you gonna be mean and grouchy to the one that's paying the bill? To the one that's paying the light. I'm not your pastor. I'm not your teacher. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a teacher. I just wanted to go through these scriptures. I just wanted to talk about the male and female relationships going through the scriptures. It says, husbands, love your wives and do not be bitter toward them. Come on, man. You got to stop nagging. You got to quit calling these women B's and H's. That's not what they are, okay? They're not a B. They're not an H. That's not, you cannot, you cannot, dog a person and then expect to have them do a favor for you. That's not how it works. I'm going to finish up with Hebrews 13. It says, marriage, Hebrews 13, I'm going to start at verse 4. It says, marriage should be honored by all, and the marriage bed kept pure, for God will judge the adulterer and all the sexually immoral. There you go again. There you go again. Marriage is sacred. Have some respect for it. If you're going to be married, have some respect for it. Keep your lives free from the love of money and be content with what you have, because God has said, never will I leave you, never will I forsake you. Okay? Keep your lives free from the love of money and be content with what you have. Let's stop right there. Stop talking about, you want you a man. Lord help us. I'm talking about you want you a man that's got this and got that. How about I want a man that's gonna like me. Try that on. I want a man that's interested in me. Come on. You got to get out of these men's back pockets. You know what I'm saying? You got to get out their back pockets, because, if you keep directing your attention and focus at their back pockets, they're going to, turn you around and you're going to be something else to them. You're not going to be a woman no more to them. Okay? You got to stop doing that. Let's go to verse 6. So we say with confidence, the Lord is my helper. I will not be afraid. What can mere mortals do to me? Remember your leaders who spoke the word of God to you. Consider the outcome of their way of life and imitate their faith. Okay. All right. I hope you got some. It's just that simple. You cannot, you cannot just, be all up on the man for the money. Yes, I got your back. I'm not gonna stay on you. I'm not gonna stay on this level. But yes, of course, you want a man that can, you want a man that can take you places that you can't take yourself. How about that? Your checks right now that you get can probably only afford Applebee's. Okay, that's cool. So yeah, it's nothing wrong with wanting a man that can, let's say maybe upgrade you a little bit, maybe take you to Cheesecake Factory. Okay, how about that? Maybe instead of driving all the time or going to Cincinnati, Ohio for I can't even think of the name of that part, Kings Island. Maybe you might want to take a drive to Florida and go to Disney World. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I got you. Yes, you do deserve that type of man. But what the scripture is saying, that if your focus is all about the money, yeah, you may not get what you're looking for. With that being said, I am now opening up the lines. I am opening up the lines of my co-hosts, because I know they ready to just dig in and go ham. So, man, I'm going to just shut my mouth right now. I'm going to let y'all go ahead. Your mics is open. Go ahead, Katie. Katie,
can I interject?
Go ahead, Mr.
Yeah,
Cappy. Go ahead, sir.
Listen. First of all, I think you're somewhat making an assumption that people will believe. You said you're quoting from the scriptures, the King James Version of the Bible. Was that correct?
Oh, it was the new one.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, whatever. You're quoting from the Bible. Yeah. See, there are a lot of people that do not believe what the Bible says, but I am a firm believer in what Scripture says. And one of the things that I have learned, I've been married nearly 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I have learned is that in a household that a man has 3 jobs, okay?
Mm-hmm.
One of them is to, well, I call them the 3 P's. One is a protector, one is a provider, and the other one is he's the priest of the family. Now, I don't mean priest such as Catholicism. That's not the type of priest I'm talking about. He's the religious leader. He is responsible for the things that come in the house that are spiritual. Okay? He should be seen by his children praying to God. He should be seen by them asking and talking to God on his knees, shall we say, or while he's driving his vehicle, because you don't have to close your eyes and get on your knees to pray. But I'm just saying they should see him in that, shall we call it, a religious mode from time to time. He should be the provider. The wife shouldn't have to go out and solicit a job or anything else. She can do things in the home that will help the family by taking care of the monies that's spent, by being frugal. But he is to be the one who's responsible for bringing the income or whatever's coming in financially. And the third thing is he should be the protector. He should monitor what they listen to. He should monitor what they hear. He should monitor where they go so that he can protect them from the wiles of the devil. Does that make sense to you?
I got you.
Oh, okay. Now, as far as him loving her, I think a lot of people have misunderstood what love really is. They think it's that goosey feeling, make my liver quiver or some junk like that. But actually, love has nothing to do with your feeling. You can have indigestion, constipation. That's a feeling. But love is what you do for a person. Love is how you treat an individual. It has nothing to do with your feeling. You have your children. One of them will curse you out. That doesn't stop you from loving him. So it's not about feeling. You may have to take the belt to him and chastise him in whatever manner. That doesn't stop you from loving that individual. The scriptures teaches us that we should love our wives. And this is a 4-letter word that most people overlook. It's not L-O-V-E. It's E-V-E-N. The scripture says that Christ so loved the world that he gave. He tells us to love our wives even as Christ loved the church and gave himself for it. You know what that means? That means that how did he love the church? How does he love me and you? To the point of death. And when a man gets to that point that he loves his wife, his family, even to the point of he will go into a fire to protect them. He will jump in front of a bullet, jump in front of a train, a plane, whatever, to protect them. That's love. It has nothing to do with how he can perform in the bed. It has nothing to do with how he starts to sweat when he sees his wife looking like Beyonce. That has nothing to do with love. Love is expressed by what you do. One other thing I'd say, and this is the last one, we talk about men and women's relationship. The scriptures never teaches the woman to go out and pursue a man. It teaches the man that when, as Solomon says, when he finds a wife, it doesn't say when she finds a man or a husband. When he finds a woman, he's found a good thing. Okay, but that doesn't mean that because she is shaped like the old proverbial Coca-Cola bottle that she's a good woman. That has nothing to do with it. She may look like she, and I hate to say this because I don't want to sound derogatory, but she may have a figure, the woman that used to be on the pancake box. Okay, that has
no, you talking about my girl. I know you ain't talking about my girl, Aunt Jemima.
I didn't call. I didn't call no
That's
name.
my
Left
auntie.
that alone.
That's my auntie.
But
Come
listen,
on.
that can be a great woman and wife for him. It is not about looks. You know why I tell people don't worry about looks? Because let's say you marry her today and she looks like she could make Halle Berry shame. What if she was suffered a fire and the fire disfigured her face? Would you hate her tomorrow?
Absolutely.
Because she no longer has that face. So that's so superficial that its value is nonsense. What you want is somebody that you can communicate with, somebody you can trust to raise your children, somebody that will be a good steward over your money and keep your house, et cetera, et cetera. Right. Now, I'm not saying that you can just say that this is a wife's job, this is a man's job, because in my household, I wash dishes. I don't have no problem with it. I get on my hands and knees and scrub floors. As a matter of fact, I just got through sewing. Okay, I do the pressing and the ironing and stuff here. Okay, and if she were sick and unable to do those things, I'd still have to do it. So to say that cooking is her job and this is my job and I'm the man and that means nothing. No, we share. We share in the necessities of the home, including the raising of the children. Okay?
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Nail in the coffin. He put the nail in the coffin. I have nothing to say, nothing at all.
All right, let me help my girl. Let me help my girl, Salima.
I agree. I am a firm believer in knowing what the word submit means. That's first of all. If you don't know what the word submit means, it will leave a nasty taste in your mouth. That's first of all. You know, I'm not going according to the Real Housewives, anybody's version of what that word means. I'm talking about the real definition of the word. And I honestly believe if two people, you know, they decide to marry one another, it should be for many reasons. It should be for many reasons, and I don't think that we should just be microwave dating anyway, you know, where you date this one, you date that one, and that's how you have so many issues. No one takes the time out to get to know a person to, you know, even understand if they even like the person as a person before they're having sex with them, before they are doing just things that you shouldn't do with a person that you don't know much about. So, you know, there's a lot of things that we have been misled to believe to be the truth. And we got to change a lot of it. We got to change a whole lot of what we think we know, you know. And our elder needs to give some classes because that's a long, amazing relationship that he's been in. I know he
Let me ask you this, Lima.
Sure.
Last week's broadcast, you said something that made me think for a minute, and I want you to share that with the people. You said that you don't believe in 50-50, but you believe in 100-100. Explain that.
Right. Everyone says that they want a relationship that's 50-50. So 50-50 meaning exactly, meaning that you're giving half of yourself to the person you profess to love. And where's the other half of you going? You know, you need to give 100-100. You have to put your all into that relationship in order for it to work.
Could I interject a thought, please, right quick, Ben? I'm sorry to interrupt you. But she is saying something that a lot of people need to learn. There is no 50-50 relationship in a real marriage because sometimes you may have to put out 125, and you know what you get back? Nothing. That's what love is. Love is not about counting and keeping score. Love is 100% me plus all the other energies and stuff it's all yours, and I'm glad to give it. You know, when Christ went to the cross, he wasn't upset, bent out of shape. He gave it willingly, and that's what men need to do for their families and their wives and their children. 125, 50%, whatever. But none of this 50-50 junk counting. She got her bank account. I got my bank account. Give me a break with that nonsense. Because the scripture says that you're to be one flesh. Ma'am, I'm sorry to cut you off.
You on that one flesh again. You on that one flesh.
What if she gets sick, for God's sake? How much you going to give me? What if she gets sick and she can't contribute anything? What are you going to do then? You still got to put in your 50%. Come on, give me a break.
Right.
That is so juvenile. That even children don't play that game.
Go
so
ahead,
means,
they take a lick off a lollipop together and they'll keep sucking it until it's gone.
So that means there's no such thing as 100 then.
Hey, no, because everything is yours. All I have is yours, all of me. Why not take all of me? Because that's what I told you when we were putting that little ring on your finger and I was grinning, showing my yellow teeth. I said everything.
Okay, sir. So let me ask you this question, because you coming with some real knowledge, right? So
No, I never said I had no knowledge.
Nah, but you're speaking of wisdom. Speaking of wisdom.
I'm trying to learn as much as I can. I have only what God has given me.
Okay,
that's all I have.
So in meeting a woman, first impression. I know first impression is everything, right? But going out on a date first time, is it? Do you have to spend a lot of money, or is that just, or? So why is it that women want a man that on a first date when you trying to get to know a woman, want you to take her to a 5-star restaurant?
Come on, Katie. It's been quite a while since I dated. Like I said, I'm 77 years old. My dating games have long been gone, and maybe the parameters and the rules have changed. But when I was young, we took a walk in the park. We went somewhere to swim to a museum or to some place of entertainment that didn't cost hardly anything. We got on the streetcars, which was 5-6 cents, and that sort of thing, and took a ride downtown and looked at the high-rise buildings. And
where did you take her to eat? Where did you take your wife to eat? What was the restaurant that you took your wife now?
Lord. Way back in those days. As a matter of fact, now this may come as a shock to you, but it's for real. One of my first dates was at a Walgreens drugstore, because in those days you could. I'm serious. You could go to Walgreens and get.
Didn't they?
They had what's called a fountain. Okay, and
like Kmart and Walmart.
Yeah, right. Right, and you could get a meal there at the Walgreens drugstore, which was normally on the corner.
Man.
That was big time for us, okay? But that was satisfactory. Another thing is, if you had thought about taking the girl somewhere, you had to talk to her daddy first. You had to go and talk to let the family smoke you over. Let them see you before you went anywhere with their daughter. You weren't going to pass the front door until you took your hat off and met her daddy, her mama, and probably half of the other family, because they wanted to look you over and ask you who your parents were, where you come from, and give you the nth degree. Okay? So you had to go through scrutiny first. You didn't get nothing for free, unless you were sneaky. But then if the neighbors down the street saw you, guess what? They turn you in.
You're in trouble. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. You couldn't get away with anything.
But, man, what happened to the time, though? What happened to the time?
Well, things change. But like I said earlier, when a guy came to visit one of my daughters, he knew he'd have to show me his library card before he walked in my door. I'm sorry. That's just the way I am.
He probably
I'm old school.
Hey, Cappy, he probably saw more than you when he walked through that door. He probably saw a piece of metal Okay, I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, because I did a lot of security work, and I've always been in. He saw my revolver, but not to intimidate him. I just wanted to scare the crap out of him. That's all, and let him know that if he didn't do right, that blood was going to shed. And I didn't mean it like that. Just to see if I could, somewhat intimidate an individual.
Hey, when I went on met a girl's father once. I remember her father had a knife in his hand when he shook my hand at the same time. I didn't even notice until he held it up. He said, "Excuse me, having this knife," and man, it was crazy. It made me laugh, but hey.
and you know why we did that? One of the other reasons we did that is because we knew what was in the back of our own mind when we were trying to date. We knew that we had a little skullduggery hidden in our heart that we wanted to do. So consequently,
did he say skullduggery?
When we had daughters, we didn't want that same little sneaky joker trying to do the same thing that was on our own mind.
Absolutely.
The mirror was there, and we looked right at it.
He said skullduggery.
Skullduggery, yes, sir. I told you I'm old school.
That's so bad.
Skullduggery.
Hey,
yes,
hey,
sir.
we got some. Hey, look like we got some callers on here. Let's see if they.
Please let somebody else talk. Yeah, let other people.
talk. I'm gonna see if these callers got anything to say. 317. I'm gonna just say the first three. I'm not gonna say all your numbers. 701. Do you have any? Do you have anything that you like to say? Your mic is open. Any question or comment tonight?
No, I don't have any questions or comments tonight.
All right. Well, thank you.
What do you think of what you've heard? Ask them what they think of what they've heard. Does it make
they hear you, Mr. Captain. They hear you, Mr. Captain.
Okay. Well, I'd like to know because I'm not an authority. Okay. I get all my. As a matter of fact, I'm a plagiarist because I get all my ideas from the Scripture. I plagiarize the Bible. That's me.
Okay, so 701. What do you think of what you heard?
I'm enjoying the show so far. I've been on here for a while now, listening in. Some real good stuff. A lot of good dialogue. I think that the relationship between men and women is a complicated one, but I think that if both parties is open to love and what that entails, then, sky's the limit. But I'm a Christian as well, so I've enjoyed the scriptures and, tying it into, today's life and dating and things like that. So I really enjoyed it thus far.
Young lady, can I suggest something to you?
What's your name?
Let me tell her this. She said something that sort of struck me. She said that it's somewhat complicated. But you know what? It really isn't. You know what makes it complicated? Guys like me who may be phony. Guys like me who say one thing and mean something else. But when we follow God's guideline, when we follow what he says in his word, there's no complication in it at all. He lays out the plan for men, and he lays out the plan for women. But you see, in my heart, in my stubborn heart, in my ignorant heart, I don't want to adhere to what the Bible says. And that's when the complications fall in. He says for me to stick to her and her alone. But you see, Beyonce's there, and she's just waiting for me. I got to go get her. And as soon as I leave her, I'm going to Halliburton. No, you can't work like that. That's the way God lays it out, but that's not the way we lay it out. We say, live and let live. Get a little bit on the side, It doesn't work. Whenever you step out of line, you got to understand something. You've created the problem. And you know what? The pressure is greater on the man than it is on the woman. Let me give you an example of something. In the book of Genesis, right quick, Eve committed the first sin, okay? But God didn't move. You know when God moves? The minute Adam started eating fruit, them tangerines, them watermelons, those pumpkin seed, whatever it was that he was eating.
Did he say tangerine?
Hey, man, listen. It wasn't the apple in a tree. It was the pear on the ground, him and her. That pear. That's where the problem was. As long as they did what God said do, no problem. But the minute, you see, I got to be slick. I got my jerry curl together now, and I'm stepping. Hey, he didn't tell me to do that. He said, don't do this. But in my will to do what I want to do, I stepped out of line. And that's when God got annoyed. Now, don't take my word for it. Read it for yourself. Eve committed the first sin. God didn't move. The minute Adam started spitting them seeds out, here come the Lord. And what did he do? Right off the bat, start lying. That woman you gave me ain't my fault. And then had the nerve to try to think he was somewhat of a tailor. Come put on some little fancy leaves and try to cover his naked. If God had been with you walking in the garden and seen your naked behind before you even knew what a leaf was, what do you think a leaf around your behind is going to do for God? That didn't cover nothing.
Nothing.
That's why God had to kill one of his own created animals and put some clothes on that turkey because he needed a covering, but not to keep it from God. You can't hide anything from God. David says it like this: before I even get a thought, you know my thoughts.
Yes.
He
said, you know they are.
It doesn't wash with the Lord.
Hey, he is going in tonight.
Okay, let me ask, ma'am, before we let you go, could I ask your name, please?
This is Erica.
Okay, hey, Erica, I appreciate you for calling in, and I'm going to put you back in the phone queue because we got another call I want to get to. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank
I hope
you.
that helped you.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. Have a blessed day.
All right, now area code I see we got area code 219, and I'm gonna say your first three. I'm not gonna say them all. Area code 219-201. Your mic is live. Do you have any question or comment?
No, I just want to listen. I don't have any comments or questions. So far, I like what I hear and what I'm hearing.
Okay.
But I don't have any comments.
Okay, thank you, sir. What's your name, sir?
Eli.
Say it again. I can't hear you.
I got Eli. I just got the number from Mr.
Oh,
Cabby.
Eli. Okay. All right. Oh, thank you, Eli, and thank you, Mr. Cabby, for inviting this gentleman. We're gonna go ahead and put you back in the phone queue.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we got another one here. Let me see. This board is trying to act up on me a little bit. Oh, I see who we got. Hey, y'all. We got another one of our co-hosts here, and he's just joining us. He's had some situations going on in his family, but everybody, let's welcome our co-host, Mr. Eric EMC. What's going on, man?
What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing?
What's going on?
Fine. Doing good, buddy.
Yeah, I'm back though. Still getting through it, but life goes on. So that's it.
Hey man, hey man, real quick, I'm about to just tell you what we was talking about, and you can just go ahead and just tell me how you feel, man. We was talking about male and female relationships, and we was going through some of these scriptures, and I'm gonna read one scripture, and then you can just tell me what you think about it. One scripture that I read was Proverbs 31:10, and it said, "Who can find a virtuous wife? For her work is far above ruby." Yo, EMC, tell me what you think that mean, man.
Well, a virtuous woman. Well, I guess in a nutshell, I guess it's a matter of in this day and age. I mean, things are different than what they were, when that was written. And what I'm saying is, the definition of that word, virtuous woman, I feel has changed a little bit, especially with the addition of, women working and becoming a little bit more independent. but still at the same time, there's still, basic things that need to be, I guess you could say, still instated, in regards to, caring of themselves and kids and that sort of thing, and, also respect for a husband as well. But that's not to say that her respect for him, should overshadow or outshadow, the same respect in return. I mean, it should be equal. But in a nutshell, I don't know. I mean, that's just how I feel. It should be a give and take. It should be equal. A man should respect a woman's position and vice versa. But within the confines of, I guess you could say, I don't know, certain situations. Because case in point, you have a child that a lot of times are more willing to listen to the father than the mother. The mother tells them to do something, and they may kind of blow it off or whatever. But when the daddy says it, then, they know it's time to stop playing. So
it's serious. It's serious business.
That's it. Yeah. Playtime is over.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
All the more,
got any? What'd you say? Go ahead.
All the more reason why children should know that if they violate the mother, they violated the daddy. That's why it is necessary for the man of the house to let the children see him be subject to the Lord by praying, by showing affection to his wife, by hugging her and kissing her in front of him, not in the bedroom only. Let those children see you and the wife enjoy one another, embrace one another. Every now and then, your kids should hear you say to your wife, "I love you, sweetheart," unconditionally. You should tell your children. Yeah, I'm telling you, you should love them and let your son hug your son, that's your child. You have the right to. I am talking none of this old freaky stuff now. I'm serious. Your children should see you hug each other and kiss one another. Family. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, don't let society pervert your mind to that. These are your children. You hugged them and kissed him when he was a baby. Why can't you kiss him now? Okay? And when you do that, you create a sensitivity of I belong. This is family. We're together. There's unity in our house. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. As much man as Jesus was, do you know people kiss Jesus? And they weren't always the females. There were men who would kiss Jesus. The very guy that betrayed him, Judas, he had to kick that joker off of him. He was hugging him so tight, letting folk know who he was. He was identifying him when he came to betray him. He hugged him and kissed him on the spot. As a matter of fact, after Jesus got through breaking the bread, you know what Jesus called Judas? Friend. Go on and do what you want to do. I know you're going to betray me, but I love you anyway. Friend, go on out there and tell the people who I am and get your 30 pieces of silver, your jive self. Okay? Don't take my word for it.
Hey,
read the Bible.
Hey, Captain, you know what? I'm gonna say this, but we gotta start dwindling down. But that's part of the problem now. Kids, they not seeing affection. So what they doing, they doing an interpretation of what they think.
All they see is discipline. You know, when your daddy get home, I'm gonna make him give you a good whipping. It doesn't work like that. Don't whip a child when you're angry. Whip a child and then run right around, grab him, and bring him to you and say, I did this for a reason. I don't want the police to kill you. I want to love you, and I want you to know that you're loved, and I don't want you to do this again because this will hurt you, what you did. You had no right to break so-and-so's window. You had no right to steal that bubble gum and borrow that boy's shoes unannounced. You belong to me. I will provide for you. You don't have to do this. You're my child. And hug him and kiss him after you done whoop that butt. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And let him know this is not about hatred. This is because I love you. Okay?
Yeah.
Why do you grab your child by the arm and cross the street? Because you love him. You don't let that child grab you by the arm and hold on to you because you love him. He can let go. You have to do it. You're the protector. You're the provider. And you are the priest. Keep the 3 P's in order. Okay? That's all we got to do.
Well, hey, everybody. What we doing? We're gonna wrap up real quick. But as always, I want to go from top to the bottom, and I just want to get all our co-hosts that have spoke tonight. Hey, just say one thing or whatever that you want somebody to leave away with that's listening to this show. Leave away with tonight. We're gonna go ahead and start with my man Kenny Kool-Aid.
Could you repeat that? I didn't hear you.
We wrapping up, and we want everybody to just go ahead and say, final statement, something that you might want someone that's listening, something you might want them to take away from this show tonight.
I had nothing to say. Everything is laid out on the line. All I have to do is listen.
All right. We're going to go on to Salima now.
I just want to say that I hope everyone enjoyed the show. And you will return for the next weeks and months and years to come. We deeply appreciate you, joining us this evening, and we'll have more, amazing topics to come in the future. Thank you very much.
All righty. All right, we're going to go to my man. Let me see who we got. We're going to go to my man EMC.
Well, I'd like to thank everybody who's listening, everyone who called in. And for the most part, I would suggest that anyone basically try to focus on your inner voice, your inner being, outside of everything that you've been taught and you've read. Just try to focus on your inner self and focus on listening to the all-powerful.
All right. And we got my main man. He's a mentor. I don't know if too many people know. He's been a mentor to me since 2001. When I first met this man, I wasn't doing nothing but being foolish. And he asked me if I want a job, and he put a hammer in my hand. And from since then, I've been working. That's my main man, Mr. Caffey. You have any final thoughts, sir?
Yes, sir. I would like to suggest something to us. Love one another. Love yourself. And for God's sake, let the words of your mouth and the meditation of your heart, let it be acceptable in God's sight, because he's your strength and he's your redeemer. Do not be afraid, men, to say you're sorry, forgive me, and please. You can learn that while you're on your bended knees. Okay? Teach that to your children. Okay? Have a blessed day, everybody. May God bless you all. And thank you so much for the opportunity to speak.
You are very welcome. Thank you, sir. Hey, and what we're going to do at this time, we're going to have a promo real quick, and right after that, we will be wrapping up. Stay tuned.
You are now listening to BzNz Internet Talk Radio. What's on your mind? What's on your mind? What's on your mind?
Hey everybody, I'm Tyron Joe, the host of the BzNz Internet Talk Radio Show, and I'd like to invite all of you to meet my very special guest every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For more detailed information, like us on Facebook at BzNz. By tuning in, there will be some opportunities to win prizes. Also, coming to a community near you, BzNz, the crew will be doing random acts of kindness. So please, like us on Facebook, inbox us.
Well, all right. We appreciate all of you coming out. We appreciate all of you for listening. And I am your host, Tyron Joe. Man, I just want to thank you guys so much, man. You just don't know how much it means and it feels to us that we can have a civil discourse among friends and family. With that being said, thank you all for coming out, and you all have a nice weekend. please tune in next Thursday, because there will be chances and opportunities to win prizes, and we will be coming to a community near you to do some wonderful and tremendous things. Thank you. Hey, everybody, can we? Uh-oh.
Here comes your appraisal. He's going to play hardball. But you're the Fairview Semi-Competitive Softball League MVP. And we're not talking slow pitch. You're used to the heat. So when he holds your feet to the fire, you tell him you need time to think about it.
Okay, here's your offer. Good for 7 days at any CarMax.
7 days? That's a curveball. Say something. You're staring.
Forget what you heard about selling your car. Get a free appraisal in as little as 30 minutes. Good for 7 days. No hassle, no pressure. CarMax. Click or tap the banner to learn more.
Here comes your appraisal. He's going to play hardball. But you're the Fairview Semi-Competitive Softball League MVP. And we're not talking slow pitch. You're used to the heat. So when he holds your feet to the fire, you tell him you need time to think about it.
Okay, here's your offer. Good for 7 days at any CarMax.
7 days? That's a curveball. Say something. You're staring.
Forget what you heard about selling your car. Get a free appraisal in as little as 30 minutes. Good for 7 days. No hassle, no pressure. CarMax. Click or tap the banner to learn more.